Hi. In the verbal ability section of an aptitude test, there are different types of questions that are asked. One such type of question is sentence errors, and this video contains a few examples on how to go about solving sentence error questions. So normally what happens is, in a sentence error question, there is a sentence given which is split into 4 or 5 parts, and you are supposed to find the grammatical error in the sentence. So as it says in this particular slide, you can see that it can be a singular, plural, or pronoun agreement, or simply it can be a spelling or a punctuation error. All grammatical concepts are to be kept in mind while spotting the error in the sentence. Let's go on to the next slide. Look at this particular example. This particular sentence has been split into 4 parts. Let me just read that out. So the sentence says, only in the interest of establishing clear lines of communication between the state governments and central government has the President acceded to its demands in regard to the tariff dispute with the latter. So the next slide actually contains the answer to the question. We'll have a look at that and then come back to the slide. Look at the answer explanation over here. It says that the error is in the fourth statement. It says instead of its, it should be there. So let's go back to the previous slide and see where the error actually is. As you can see over here, in statement B, it says establishing clear lines of communication between the state governments and central government. So as you can see, the subject in this entire sentence is a combination of state governments and central government. So it's obviously plural. But in statement D, the pronoun that is used over there is its. The relative pronoun is its. Now, obviously, if you have a plural, you cannot use its. You need to use their. So that is the problem in the sentence. So you need to mark D as the answer, which is the error in the sentence. Let's go on to one more question. Although most of its land is uninhabitable, Alaska is larger than any state. As you can notice over here, the answer they say is D. But the thing is, we should know when we are comparing two things, that is, we are comparing Alaska and to any state. Now, we are not comparing Alaska to one particular state, whereas we are comparing Alaska to all other states available maybe in the US, okay, or in that particular country. So you can see that you need to change any state to any other state. That is, you are not comparing two particular states, you are comparing Alaska to all other states. So the error lies in statement, the D part. Okay, so that's the issue in the sentence. Let's have a look at one more type of question. The members of the jury was unmoved by the defendant's plea for leniency and returned a verdict of guilty. Now here you can see that the error lies in A. This is purely a subject-verb agreement question, whereas in this particular sentence, the subject as such, you might think is the jury, but the actual subject is members and the verb is was. Now the problem is, if you are using members as the subject, which is plural, you need to use were, W-E-R-E, since it's a plural subject. So that is the error in the sentence. Let's have a look at one more question. Due to an accident on I-285B, John missed a meeting with an important client. Now you might be wondering what I-285B is. It's an interstate highway in the US. All interstates are marked with an I. But anyways, coming back to the question, let's spot the error. Now, as you can see in the explanation, due to is a predicate adjective which cannot be used in the beginning of a sentence. You need to alternatively use because of. So that is the error in the sentence. Due to can be used in the middle of a sentence, but not at the beginning of a sentence as it is a predicate adjective. Let's have a look at one more. If she would have spent more time studying than she did partying, Jane might not have had to attend summer school. So again it says that the answer is A, because this is a conditional statement. Any conditional statement takes only a past perfect verb. So the problem over here is again A, that is would have is used over there, which is not a past perfect form. You need to change it to had spent, which is the past perfect form. So you need to say if she had spent more time studying than she did partying, and the rest of the sentence. Okay, let's have a look at one last question. The writing workshop had fewer attendees and the most problems than any other event I attended at the convention. Now here the problem lies in the comparison between two things. As you can see, the writing workshop is compared to any other event. And as you can see over there, in the first comparative degree, fewer is a comparative degree. But then suddenly they use the most. Most is a superlative form. Now, how can you use a comparative and the superlative form when you are comparing two things? When you are comparing two things, you are supposed to use only the comparative form. Okay? So that's the reason the most should be changed to more. So you need to say the writing workshop had fewer attendees and more problems than any other event. Okay? So this gives you a hint on how to go about sentence error questions. These are just a few examples. There are many more. So let's end this video over here. I hope you got an idea about how sentence error questions are asked in the verbal ability section of an aptitude test. Thanks.